Today we will study about law of large numbers, and in law of large numbers we are going to study about Chebyshev's inequality. Now let's have a look at the statement. What is the statement? What does the statement say to you? Let x be any random variable or any continuous or discrete random variable with finite mean mu and variance sigma square. Okay, just note that x is a random variable. It can be continuous or discrete, and the mean of x here is what? Mu, and variance is sigma square. Then for any positive number t, probability of modulus x minus mu is greater than or equal to t sigma is less than or equal to 1 by t square. Or you can write this as probability of modulus x minus mu less than or equal to t sigma greater than or equal to what? 1 minus 1 by t square. So this is what the statement for your Chebyshev's inequality. Now what we have to do is we have to find a proof for this statement. To begin with, I am considering the variance of x. Now here the variance of x is what? Sigma square. Now how can I write the sigma square? I can write the sigma square as expectation of x minus x bar the whole square, right? So expectation of x minus, instead of x bar what can I give there, or what can I substitute instead of x bar? Mu, because it is said that in the statement mu is the mean of what? The random variable x. Now what I am going to do is, again in the statement it was said that x can be continuous or discrete. For the time being I am assuming that x is a continuous random variable, and I am going to expand this expectation of x minus mu the whole square. Now let's see what I get. So this expectation of something, I hope you all know the definition. So what is it? Minus infinity to plus infinity. The range of x, I am considering it as minus infinity to plus infinity, x minus mu the whole square f of x dx. Fine. Now this is equal to, now this term, just keep this term in mind. I am going to split this term into 3 parts. Okay, what I am going to do? I am going to split this term into 3 parts. So before that I would like to take you to a number line. This number line where I assume that my x lies somewhere between minus infinity and plus infinity, and I also think that there is a point over here that mu minus t sigma. What is mu? It is a mean of the random variable x minus t is some positive number that we have already got it from our statement. I don't know what number it is, but it is a positive number multiplied by its standard deviation. Now this point is what? The deviation from the mean, that is mu minus t sigma. So if something like this is over here, we can also say that you have what? There will be a mean plus the standard deviation, right? Mean plus t sigma and your infinity. So somewhere over here lies your x. Now from here I am going to split this minus infinity to plus infinity into 3 groups. Okay. Now the first group is from minus infinity to mu minus t sigma. Second is from what? Mu minus t sigma to mu plus t sigma. And the third is from mu plus t sigma to what? Infinity. So I am going to split this term using this concept. Okay, now let's see. Minus infinity to mu minus t sigma, x minus mu the whole square f of x dx plus integral what? Mu minus t sigma mu plus t sigma x minus mu the whole square f of x dx plus what? Integral mu plus t sigma infinity to infinity x minus mu the whole square f of x dx. Okay, now these are the 3 terms that you have got. Now let's see whether I can, these are the three terms that you have got right now. Now I would like to show you something. Now you consider a number line like this. Okay, I know this is not a neat number line, but you just consider a number line like this. You have 3, 5 and 8 over here and etc. So many other numbers. Now if you add up all these quantities, that is 3, 5 and 8, 3 plus 5 plus 8, you will get a number. And you are pretty much sure that this number is what, greater than or could be equal to what, 3 plus 8. Am I right? Yes. Now, I'm going to apply the same concept over here. So I don't need these three terms. Instead of three terms, I could only take 2 terms. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this thing over here. Now this here is my first term, second term and third term. Right. Now if I add up all these things, you will get a number over here, and this number is what is greater than or equal to what, integral minus infinity to mu minus t sigma, that is your first term, x minus mu the whole square f of x dx, plus integral your third term, mu plus t sigma to infinity x minus mu the whole square f of x dx. So in short, from where did we start? We started from sigma square, and sigma square is what, greater than or equal to minus infinity to mu minus t sigma x minus mu the whole square f of x dx plus mu plus t sigma to infinity x minus mu square f of x. I have given sigma square is greater than or equal to these two terms. Okay, just I have only written the previous step over here neatly, and I have marked it as equation 1. Now just closely observe from the first term. This is your first term. Your first term, from your first term you get an information that your x, your random variable x, is less than or equal to mu minus t sigma. Right. Now what I am going to do is x minus mu is less than or equal to minus t sigma. I am going to multiply this inequality by a negative sign so that this becomes positive. So what will I get? Mu minus x, the sign will be inverted, t sigma, and mu minus x, I am going to square this, greater than or equal to t square, sigma square. Okay, so this is something I get from your first term. Similarly, I will get an information from your second term also. Now this is your second term. Now this is something very important from the second term, the information that we get from the second term. What is it? X is greater than or equal to mu plus t sigma. Okay, now which implies that x minus mu is greater than or equal to t sigma, x minus mu the whole square is greater than or equal to t square sigma square. Now this is, you can write this as A. Now you can write t square sigma square in the first equation instead of x minus mu the whole square, right? From the inequalities we arrived at a position where we can substitute x minus mu the whole square by what, or with t square sigma square. Instead of x minus mu the whole square, I am going to substitute t square sigma square f of x dx plus integral mu plus t sigma to infinity t square sigma square f of x dx. Now sigma square is greater than or equal to, t square sigma square is a common term. I am going to take that outside. What I get inside? Minus infinity to mu minus t sigma f of x dx plus integral mu plus t sigma to infinity f of x dx. Now this is greater than or equal to t square sigma square. Now what is this integral minus infinity to mu minus t sigma f of x dx? What is that? That is nothing but probability of x less than or equal to mu minus t sigma. Okay, plus now what is this? Probability of x greater than or equal to mu plus t sigma. Okay, now this is greater than or equal to, you have a sigma square over here. Okay, don't forget that. You have a t square sigma square here. Then you have this probability. So what I will do is probability of x minus mu less than or equal to minus t sigma plus probability of x minus mu greater than or equal to t sigma. Okay, now here the sigma square and sigma square get cancelled. You have 1 over here, 1 greater than or equal to t square. Then probability of x minus mu less than or equal to minus t sigma and probability of x minus mu greater than or equal to t sigma. T square, probability of this term plus this term. Now probability of x minus mu is less than or equal to minus t sigma. Instead of plus I can write what? Or probability of x minus mu. What is probability of x minus mu? Can be greater than or equal to this t sigma also. So how can I write this? Probability of modulus x minus mu greater than or equal to t sigma. Okay. Now I have written this as 1 greater than or equal to t square probability of modulus x minus mu greater than or equal to t sigma, which implies probability of, I took this t square to this side, so I could write the inequality as probability of modulus x minus mu greater than or equal to t sigma less than or equal to 1 by t square. Now this is your what we came back to our statement. Again, there was a second inequality which was mentioned in the statement, so that also we can arrive at that inequality. How? Probability of modulus x minus mu less than or equal to t sigma, which is less than or equal to 1 minus probability of modulus x minus mu greater than t sigma less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by t square.